Good night, fellow punters. The clock on the wall says 8:30 p.m. on Thursday night. Different scenery tonight. I'm still in the same place. I just put this up tonight. I don't know why. We had a winner, and I don't know what happened to the other one. Nymphadora got the ball rolling on the Rudy today. Grand ride by Oisin Murphy. So saying last night it looked like that the prep run the last day would push the horse spot on. Second last year, first time out. So everything went right. He didn't panic, got the rail and then moved out and tiptoed nicely up the stretch. I think he was out at 4-1 this morning. He was turned at 3s. So grand start, and there was money for Stilicher. It was 4.9, I think, into 3.1. So it looked good, and then it drifted before the off. And as a friend of mine would say, the drift stinks. So I don't know, it reminded me of a car that had run out of petrol. He just let it sort of freewheel home and get as far as he could. He never asked it before it bottomed out or something. Or I don't know what happened. Or I might have a look at it again. But it's a pity. I thought it'd be definitely sort of placed. The money was right for Rachel, and we've one more to go in 15 minutes' time. So hopefully that at least that might it might get up. But it's drifting as well in the last hour, which isn't a great sign. But at least we have a pound or two made anyway today. Now we have a heap of stuff tomorrow, a plethora of stuff. It's one of those days where I have a heap of them and I didn't know what to leave out. So you decide what you want to pick, and I might put up when I get a chance. Maybe an each way look at 15 with some of them and a Trixie or something. There is that many, would you believe? But I can make a case for them all, and we'll see how it goes. There's a couple of bus horses included in that as well, and a couple because of the ground tomorrow. So let's start at the 225 at Ascot. Soft, heavy in places. A horse that won for us a couple of runs back in Nottingham on ground Coquelicot. Is won on soft ground in Nottingham, bet Tuddenham Green. I beat that by 4 lengths, but that ran pretty decent the last Saturday. It was behind that horse that we had the winner of. I should have wrote it down. Mark of Gold. So there's a bit of substance to the form. So it did run again after that, but just 6 days later. So it has a month off, 31 days. Halifon, a horse that won for us before, is in the race, but it seems to be sort of a bit out of form this weather. Paul Nicholls has won a first time out as well. So with the ground conditions the way it is, I thought we could stick that one in 2-1 there. Binnynahar Road is the one for Nicholls. 4-10 in Ascot as well. There is another one up to the 2-1 shot earlier. Orazio. I like the way this one won last time. Charlie is going all right. Likely enough raced. One first time out. No run at all then last year. And 2 runs this year. It improved to win the last day. And it was a decent enough field. This is it, 4 from the right, with his head sort of cocked up in there. He still seems to be learning the trade, But
the Green Man, and after these races Admiral D, the fight for home is on, and up front less than a furlong to go. Probe narrowly out in front, trying to fend them off with Leap Aboard, chairman of the board. Here's Orazio with the best finish of the lot. Orazio and William Buick hit top gear and storm on to win it. Orazio beats Probe, chairman of the board. Behind those, Leap.
I think there was a little bit more left in the locker there. Chairman of the board is in the race again. That was second the other day, but this is 23 days. It's by Caravaggio, well enough bred, Buick in the plate. Them two I had them in as 2-2-1 shots. And where will we go? We'll go to Chester. The first race at Chester tomorrow, there's Revich. This race last year, it was won by Red Mirage. Red Mirage, it's his first run now. He's after changing years. He's gone to John Quinn. But if we look at this race last year, and he had one run prior to it, he's in the Midland pair colours. He gets tapped. He gets blocked coming around the turn for home. He hadn't position, but he ran on really well to the line.
Last, they're about to swing round to the home straight in the
opening with the black helmet on the rail. He lost his cap colours.
Fully committed. Out after him now, Red Mirage in second place. Tom Frey comes next.
He's standing up on the plate there.
Followed then on the inside by Fame and Acclaim, but Red Mirage now comes through to takes the lead from Fool's Rush In. Clear sailing for Busala and Boardman now from the back of the field. Revich is finishing off quite well too. Red Mirage though is out in front. Here comes Busala with the latest challenge. Wasn't quite enough, I don't think. Red Mirage, Busala.
But he ran that race off 95. Boardman was 92 in that race. Boardman is now 97 and Revich is 92, so there's a good swing in that there. But it ran in the Lincoln behind Migration on heavy ground at Milan. It was close enough to the pace at the furlong pole, and that was his first run. It died back. It shows that it was ninth, but it's only beaten a couple of lengths. The one that was fifth came out and won since, handy enough. Baradar is out Saturday. We'll have to see how that's going to run. But another plus is Jim Crowley rode Boardman last year, didn't they? And he's on Revich this year. Yeah, he was, that's right. So Crowley is up this time. And he can front run. So I was hoping he's in sixth, that he might be able to get out into a second or third similar to that horse today. And he's a 5-1 shot. There's 13 in, back him each way. 5-1 shot. The 205, I have no great fancy in that. The 240, they're the Cheshire winner for a couple of years ago, Point Lonsdale. He only ran once last year, and he came back. He won the alleged stakes fairly handy from visualization, but having not run for a good while, when he's over a month off nearly. But we have Mujtaba. Remember him? He done us a couple of great strokes last year. He won in Doncaster. Nice bit of toe he showed this day.
Along.
That's him last in the Shadwell colours.
Poised in behind those is Forest Falcon, just fine, being pushed along. Cormier driven as well, so too is Isla Kai. Mujtaba's got a pick up here, got 3 or 4 lengths to find. Legend of Dubai switches to the outside of Just Fine as well as they head down towards the final furlong. And up front, they're right across the track here. Bell Rock tackled now by Legend of Dubai over on the far side. This side, Mujtaba's coming home really sweetly as well. Faylak is nice next, and Mujtaba takes up the running late in the day here. Mujtaba going on here. Mujtaba wins in style.
And then this is him second from the right in a handicap as well.
Although Vanity Affair is still sticking on well for pressure, and Fantastic Fox and Jimi Hendrix are trying to get involved. Magisterial, still Dane O'Neill sits quietly on Mujtaba and now goes to join the leader. Vanity Affair and Fantastic Fox are the next two, but it's Mujtaba, cajoled to the front and striding away here. Mujtaba about 3 lengths clear from Fantastic Fox and Magisterial. They're finishing well strung out. Mujtaba is clear. William Hag.
So hopefully he's progressed over the winter and that he's fit to rock tomorrow. There's been a bit of money for him there. He's 4-1. He was 5s earlier. He wasn't each way anyway, but even without Point Lonsdale, 13 to 8, 6 to 4, something like that, anything to make a pound on a race. I'll come back to the Chester Cup in a minute. We have a horse here that people will be familiar with, By Your Side. We had a little win on it a couple of runs back. He opened up 9-2 there, 5-1 in places. We won on him the 30th of March that day, and then he was third in Cheltenham. Just didn't stay up the hill. Second by a nose the last day. The last time it ran on the flat was for Ed Dunlop last October. He looked all over a winner as he headed for home. But whatever happened, I don't know, because he had won the previous race. He finished off weak, but he seems to be a better animal this year. He's a good old engine. This is him here.
On B12 from I Am the
That's him
Sea.
coming number
By Your Side to sit on the heels of the leader
7.
with Chips and
He
Rice.
takes the lead there.
Showman and
Well, I don't know
Non-Such
what
Lad
happens.
is looking for a little bit of racing room, making their way now down.
That's him in the
up
lead
centre of
there
the
now.
racecourse with a furlong and a half to go. By Your Side has moved through to lead from B12 Chips and Rice. Then behind these Showman, a Non-Such Lad is trying to stay on in the green colours. Right from the back, Una Notte is also making some late headway. Out in the lead, By Your Side, Non-Such Lad. Still B12 is there as well. Chips and Rice and Showman. This is still in the melting pot. B12 in the centre. Far side, Chips and Rice. Over on the far side, Showman as well.
It wasn't too busy on him, but Rob Hornby seems to be a better class animal, so hopefully that he might get out in front. He's a front runner or up at the pace. And in the last race is the Chester Plate. It's the same course and distance as the Chester Cup. Novel Legend didn't get in. They were hoping for a run, get in with the bottom weight, but now he has to carry 10 stone. And if we look, my pick for this race actually was Malacana, but it's not running. And on a line through Malacana, I come up with another horse. This might have improved a bit since, but This was second to Malacana in last October, getting £1. And the bottom horse, who's an out-and-out stayer, Justus, for Ian Williams, who does good strokes for us on long-distance races. So he was giving him £1. And Malacana, he was third to it, but he was giving it £8. He was only 2 lengths behind. He's an out-and-out stayer, this lad, Justus. He won the last, he's only up £3 for it. He's carrying 9-2. He was a 6-1 shot earlier there. That was probably before Malacana came out. So, an each way bet on him, I thought, maybe. The Chester plate is at 3.15. It was won 2 years ago by Falcon 8, but he's an 8-year-old now. This is the race last year that we came across Coltrane first. He was second last year to Cleveland. But Emiyn loves this track. And he won't mind the ground either, because he was behind Metier at that time in the November handicap. He had a couple of runs this year. It looks like a prep run, but he was last year in the Chester plate. He was, where was he? Second to the Gadget Man as well. They're paying five place on that. He's drawn in trap 1 as well, and he's a front runner, so he might get out in front and maybe stay there. At least get a place. There's one at Ripon tomorrow night. There's doubts about a couple of them. That Bertie's Wish hasn't run on the flat for a long time. It was over hurdles recently. Hasn't run on the flat since it was with Clive Cox. But Bushfire has used to be with Huey Morrison and won on heavy ground in Newbury. Changed airs then to Jim Tutty, but it has 4 runs on the Goo. It might be fitter than the other ones for it, and at 9-2 for some of the ones a Friday night bet tomorrow night. And finally, Kilbeggan, there's a handicap hurl tomorrow evening. The last day was over in Ballinrobe. 9 Graces won at 2-6. But I don't know how strong a race it was. We have Run for Pat won for us 2 runs back, and this will like the distance and it'll like the ground, definitely. The last day got bogged down in heavy ground in Cork, and it still rallied, ran on fairly well to finish 4th. When I made in hurl in the Stowell last year, good ground. And we have never ending. Level never ending. This has won at the track, and it's a bit in and out, but we're back to the last day in Punchestown. But a step up and trip It suited. He was up against better horses that day. He won a maiden hurl in Kilbeggan. He was fourth to Wrexham. That was in Killarney, was it? It was. I was down there that day. I'll be going again this year. I heard they booked the camper van the other day for the camper van tour in August again, late August. We'll be on the road like Willie Nelson. So there is some for tomorrow. I'll put them up in a bit, but you have the gist of what I fancy. The ground is the key to a lot of them horses. Mujtaba probably is the one we're hoping will have improved. 5-year-old Point London. That'll be a good race between the two of them tomorrow. Well, hopefully between the two of them. Anyway, bash the bookies, over and out.